Hi, my name's Daniel and welcome to part 2 of my plant tour. And what you're seeing here is a set of plants that are growing under LED lights, and in this setup we have a rabbit foot fern, Davallia fijiensis. We've also got a nice little begonia. Now actually there's two. There's one begonia rex hybrid, and then we have this one here, which is a young begonia Sizamore. And I've got some bigger ones, and in the near future I'm going to show you what they look like, but that's a topic for another video. And there's one other plant in this big terrarium I want to show you. Have a look at this. This looks absolutely spectacular, and this is a special type of rex begonia called Begonia rex escargot, and the leaf is round and it's kind of like shaped like a snail. And this is a begonia that is very difficult to grow because it requires such high humidity, and that's the reason why I've got it in this massive fish tank terrarium. And in here I've got some more begonias, and I'll open it up so you can see it better. Here you can see there are these nice flowers. Hang on, let me show you. Look at that. Look at those nice flowers. So this begonia is flowering, and in this terrarium there's also something else, but it's a little bit hard to see because it's so thick. Now in the background you can see all this green foliage. That's a plant called Peperomia prostrata, or string of turtles. So they're the two main plants I have in this terrarium, and like the other one, these plants are growing under LED lights. And this terrarium, this is another terrarium, and you've got this great big mat of Peperomia prostrata, or string of turtles, and like the others it's growing under LED lights. So all of the terrariums in this video, they're all under LED lights, and I would like to talk about LED lights in more details in a future video, and how plants grow under LED lights. So that'll be a topic for another video in the future. This box is very interesting. There's quite a few interesting plants here. So let's have a look and see what's inside this box. Okay, so this is what the box looks like inside, and here are all the contents in it. So we've got various terrariums with lots of different kinds of plants. So there's even some very interesting ferns. So let's go through them one by one. So this is Phytonia, or a nerve plant, so Phytonia albuvinus, and the reason why I have nerve plants in terrarium because they're very difficult to grow because they require such high humidity. And this is just one, but there's another two, so I'm going to show you them. Here's another nerve plant terrarium, and let's see the last one, the third one. Here's the third one. and they've grown really well in there. So I thought I'd show you one of them up close so you can see it a bit better. And this one's really doing very well in here. It's loving the terrarium and the high humidity. And this is one of my most favourite plants, Photonia albuvinus. I just love those green stripes, green and white stripes on the leaves. It looks incredible. In here I've got this nice fern. Now this is a big terrarium, so this is a fern terrarium, and there's quite a few in here. So this is one fern, and here's another big one. And my most favourite fern in this big fern terrarium is the heartleaf fern, Hemianitis arifolia, and I've got quite a few more, so you'll be able to see them more easily in the other terrariums. So here's another heartleaf fern terrarium, and there's another one right next to it. And the interesting thing about this fern is that they grow little plantlets from the leaves, and you can see that there. That's a little plantlet. So this plant doesn't just reproduce from spores, but it can reproduce from the little plantlets that form from the fronds, I should say. Now this heartleaf fern terrarium has something extra growing. See that? That's an unusual kind of plant called liverwort. So that's liverwort. And when you have a heartleaf fern that's well grown, well developed, this is what it looks like. And this one's become a little bit overgrown, so I'm gonna transfer this one into a bigger terrarium, because this one is starting to outgrow it. This terrarium is too small for it, so it'll be in a bigger terrarium in the near future. And in this terrarium, see that little white thing there? That's a new frond that is just starting to grow, and that'll turn into a new frond, so it'll look more like that one there. So that's a young frond. When a heartleaf fern reproduces from a leaf, from a frond I should say, they emerge from the base of the frond. So see that little white, see that hairy speck there, like there? That'll eventually turn into a little plantlet. So it's one way you can propagate heartleaf fern, and it's the reason why I have quite a few of them. In this terrarium I've got 3 plants in this terrarium, and this is a plant called Moon Valley Pilea involucrata, and so that's the biggest one, and here are the 2 other little plants. And you might be wondering, why am I using these plastic sheets as opposed to just a lid. Well, if I was to use a lid, that lid will block some of the light. So by using a plastic sheet like this, I'm maximizing the amount of light that these plants get so that they can do more growing. And this is the last one. This is the last terrarium in the grow box, and this one has quite a few different kinds of ferns. I'm not really sure what ones they are, and they're obviously overgrown, so I'm gonna transfer them into something bigger, and maybe I can do a rehousing video where I separate all these ferns and put them in their own little jars, so that can be for a future video.